Hello everyone, this is Crode giving you a shoutcast in Game 2 in a series between Evil Genius's Idra and Root Minigun. Game 2 taking place here on MLG, Metalopolis, and Root Minigun apparently having a little bit of fun there, and luckily they made Protoss, Idra saying indeed, and I really like this little bit of a smiley here. I think it's Japanese, the N sound. Idra bringing the rage a little bit at the beginning of the game, and whether or not you like Idra, or you gotta say that he is a very entertaining player to watch. Also, that game and that series against OGSMC, very entertaining to watch, as well as Idra now making his way out with this Overlord, and we'll quickly find out this is a cross spawn. Idra spawning as the green Zerg at the 6 o'clock position. Meanwhile, Root Minigun spawning on the north side of the map at the 12 o'clock position as the light blue, or light blue Protoss. So Protoss versus Zerg once again. For some reason, I come across a lot of Protoss versus Zerg matchups and not many of the other matchups. So hopefully I can change that up just a little bit for you guys. It looks like Idra will be going for, I do not know. I want to say, and I have a feeling that it is going to be a fast hatchery, but as soon as this probe comes up that ramp, we should either see something happen of some sort. Idra now making his way down and now making a spawning pool. So going spawning pool first here on Metalopolis, even though that this is going to be a cross spawn. A gateway now being warped in as well. As you can see, the Nexus currently just trading up more probes, getting that chrono boost down, trying to get a strong economy going by both sides of these players. Drones now making their way down over here and putting pressure onto this probe. That probe already down to 15 hit points, and 2 shots or 2 damage may be dealt. One more damage and that probe will get out of there. And now nicely done by Idra. Idra able to set up that hatchery. Very nice micro between the exchange and the battle so far. And now Minigun making his way back with this probe, gonna pop up that ramp and see that there is still not a gas just quite yet. Idra is still running off of a pool expansion here instead of a fast pool expansion of any sort. And we'll see what's going to be happening. Now, with that earlier spawning pool, it does mean that he does get queens significantly faster, allowing him to be able to power drone off of one hatchery. He doesn't get the benefit of having the second hatchery up and running, but one queen at one hatchery definitely gives you more larvae per minute than how many larvae the hatchery would normally be able to produce. Back over here, we have the probe now making its way back, and perhaps we'll be setting up a proxy pylon somewhere in this area here, up on that high ground, even in this area or this area, allowing him to be able to warp in units across the field. Cybernetics core is already up. Warp gate research now coming in, as well as Minigun going for a much more traditional build, going for a Zealot Stalker. Now, I am curious as to what that means. Most likely, I would assume that we're going to see some Stargate now, as the only reason why you wouldn't be going for sentries is that you want to save the gas for higher tech. And right as I say that, he trains up a sentry, so there goes that theory. A drone now trying to make its way out. It will not be able to. The drone simply getting picked apart. Oh, natural regeneration for the win. Well, at least for 7 seconds. Overlord now trying to push out as well, perhaps do a little bit of scouting and figure out when exactly Minigun will be trying to go for an expansion. Idra currently running off of 2 bases, not full saturation on either base so far, sitting at 25 drones compared to 25 drones. Idra will have a little bit more of an economic lead just because of a couple of reasons. One, he's not harvesting gas, and secondly, he is running off of 16 mineral pouches instead of 8, meaning less diminishing returns. Minigun now going into an additional 3 gateways, so this may be a very heavy Stalker blink push or Zealot charge push. So it looks like it is going to be a nice timing attack by Minigun. The only reason why you stay on one basis after this amount of time is you really want to be able to just crank out the units rather quickly. A probe now making its way down, making sure to set up that pylon and making it a little bit more difficult for those units to be able to run up that ramp. Zerglings now making the trek all the way across the map. 6 minutes into this game, no speedlings just quite yet, as a Zerglings now trying to perhaps run around that corner in just a moment. Warp gate is nearing completion. Twilight Council is up. Are we going to be getting any research yet? Not quite sure. A Nexus now trying to be warped in, as those Zerglings are not going to be able to get any serious damage at all, as There is enough zealots and sentries nearby. More and more Zerglings are going to still warp in here as another hatchery being placed down by Idra. So Idra being very careful to not fall behind in hatcheries as we are now going into a Dark Shrine play. So the Dark Shrine, if it is spotted, would be absolutely horrendous. Minigun very curiously putting that Dark Shrine here, and it almost looks like a pylon as it's warping in. So Minigun perhaps going to be able to get off a surprise attack with that. The Zerglings, even if they come up the ramp, should not be able to see this far. And now you can see the Overlord flying by, doesn't see the Twilight Council, doesn't see the Dark Shrine, and that is going to be a very, very painful day. Layer still needing about another 60 seconds or so. Dark Shrine also needing about another 40 seconds. Now, there is one proxy pylon down over here, but by the time the Dark Templars finally walk out, an Overseer Cocoon should already be in transition, and I do not think that the Dark Templars are going to be able to deal as much damage as Root Minigun would like. It is unlike a Terran player who needs to train 60 seconds on that starport with that tech lab in order to train up a Raven. No, Overlords, and you can just convert them in the middle of the field. There is that 1-2 Dark Templars now warping in already. The Overlord is not going to spot them, obviously, as it is not a detector. As the Dark Templars now make the trek down, there is going to be perhaps a little bit of a run by on these Dark Templar. The Dark Templar want to get damage onto the mineral lines, and I do not see any Spore Crawlers yet. Just one Queen down over here, a drone building up another hatchery here. So this is going to be a split attack as the drones are now coming in, and just a matter of seconds, one Dark Templar, two hits already, 3 hits, and it doesn't look like Idra finally responding. And the queens are now trying to come over as well. Overseer Cocoon, where is it? I don't see it just quite yet. And he doesn't have enough gas. That is the problem there. The production tab doesn't... Oh, the Overseer should be coming in from somewhere, but where is it? It is right here. And the Dark Templars now trying to run away. The Overseer does move fairly quickly, and down it goes. So a little bit of worker kills, but not that... Or actually... Yeah, a decent number of worker kills. Actually, as the workers, Dark Templar over here still getting some hits. 8 kills on this one particular Dark Templar. The Overseer now trying to make its way over. The Dark Templar down to 65 shields. Overseer still hanging around. Doesn't see anything so far, but that is going to put a little bit of a dent, but not very much, as I mentioned earlier, as Idra is still running off a lot of bases. And in comes another Dark Templar here. Spine Crawler and Spore Crawler being built. The Dark Templar is spotted and now will be forced to run back. It looks like, yeah, that one Dark Templar has also been spotted and now will see the afterlife, or the Protoss afterlife. I actually don't know of Protoss. I don't know enough about the lore to know about the Protoss afterlife. There has been a change in the canon in that Dark Templars actually, or Zealots don't actually die. They go back to where they were. Dark Templar now trying to get as many kills as possible, able to get 2 more slices into a Zergling, and now running back up, unable to see that pylon up on the high ground. There is a probe hiding off over here, an Overlord hiding off over here as well, as both players now running Minigun running off of 2 bases still, Idra running off of 3. Production-wise, we are going for the Hydralisk Den and Overseers. So Hydralisk Den, very, very powerful for the Zerg, as long as you have a very, very decent creep spread. If you don't have that creep spread, Hydralisks don't deal nearly as much damage as you would like, as Observer and Dark Templar now make their way out. This one Zergling won't see what's coming, and down it goes as an Overlord now with the Pneumatized Carapace able to make it out across the field as well. And Overseers are also going to be able to spot rather easily, as the Overseers are now moving at the same, actually moving faster than a Dark Templar. We'll be able to catch up to them in just a moment. Overlords are all out and about. There is one Observer there. Dark Templar is now trying to make the trek out as well. We are getting a pylon here up on that high ground, and as soon as that pylon warps in, Minigun should be trying to do a little bit of a maneuver and try to press out. He does have a significantly larger army, a 2,000 resource army larger, but 77 drones versus 57 probes, and Dark Templars may be able to snipe down the Overseer, and down it goes. Only that Spore Crawler will be able to detect any of those Dark Templars, as the Roach is now trying to make their way out, and Minigun now trying to do a little bit of a push here, as the Spine Crawler gonna get taken apart just rather easily. Production-wise, we are getting a lot of Zerglings and Hydralisks. In come the force fields. Idra cannot really try to engage at this time. He should not try to engage. He should wait for those force fields, as those force fields are just splitting apart his army. One proxy pylon should get taken down. No, it will not get taken down in time, as the rest of the Stalkers are now just simply warping in, and Idra having a very, very difficult time trying to battle this out. He is not going to be able to win this war of attrition. all too easily as the Roaches and Hydralisks finally joining in on the fight. The Hydralisks do finally have that range upgrade and level 2 weapons upgrade as Idra able to push back the rest of those Stalkers. And now the Stalkers do have Blink and perhaps going to try to get some more damage onto this hatchery over here. The Roaches coming in as well. And Hydralisk able to finish off that last pylon. Dark Templar is engaging. This hatchery will get taken down and a lot of damage has been dealt. Worker kills, 38 worker kills by Minigun. And army-wise, 62 to 56. Stalkers are desperately trying to retreat there. Those Roaches don't know that how many Stalkers are there. And now another reinforcement coming in of Stalkers. Stalkers able to pick off more units. Losses-wise, both sides about even. And that's good news for Idra, as Idra definitely has the stronger economy going into the mid-game. He still has 6 drones up. His army is still significantly, or not quite as small anymore, as he did transition from drones into an actual army now. And Idra is actually looking pretty decent. Roach is now perhaps going to do a 4 Roach drop. That is a pretty unheard of move that I have not seen in quite some time. It looks like the Roaches are trying to back off here, perhaps seeing that there is a Changeling. Yeah, a Changeling with that Zealot moving away around. And that one, perhaps Minigun could actually keep track of his Zealots. That Changeling should be trying to follow the Zealot there. The Changeling, now Roach is now trying to engage there. And that one more little bit of a Zealot there just wandering back and forth. It looks like, yes, the Roach drop will be coming into play in just a moment. Perhaps dropping straight into the mineral line. And one of the key things that you have to remember is Idra does have level 2 weapons upgrade. Hydralisks and Roaches are trying to battle out, but at level 2 weapons upgrade, the Roaches can 2-shot a probe. So in comes the drop over here. The probes are taking a lot of damage as the units are in full retreat, but so many probes are getting destroyed. You can see how much damage is being dealt so far. The worker kills, 17 already now for Idra, as Idra continues to battle it out. He should really just be going for those probes, trying to weaken the economy of Minigun, and a 71 to 53 Harvester difference now at the mid portion of this game. Roaches are going to once again try to battle it out. The Roaches are trying to make their way in. Blink able to just save all of those Stalkers. Hydralisks are fighting off of creep, so that is going to be very difficult for them to get within combat range on those Stalkers, as the Stalkers are now just continuing to blink around. There is a little bit of creep being left behind, so those Hydralisks are going to be able to get within combat range just a little bit more quickly. And Idra doing a great job just trying to fight and put pressure back when he knows that Minigun is not going to be able to run all of his gateways or warp gates that efficiently. Minigun now just constantly in retreat, doesn't have that many Stalkers, and the sheer macro of Idra overrunning Minigun here on Metalopolis. So Idra able to even the score and now tie the series at 1 game apiece. Stay tuned for Game 3.